Hello, I'm going to go over the quizzes this week. As I mentioned on the earlier message about number two, I should give out more information on number two. I will discuss that later, but everyone will going to get full credits on number two. So first one, a position support grilled from 14.2% by 3% points to 14.5%. What relatively changes is this? So relatively change equals to the final change minus the original or the beginning change divided by the original change. So in this case, it's going to equal to 14.5% minus 14.2% and divided by 14.2%. So this is equal to 3% over 14.2%, which is equal to 0.071. Okay, so the next step is important. So these, they ask you percent. So that means you need to convert this to a percentage, which is equal to 7.1%. Okay, number two. It takes your garden hose 20 seconds to fill up 2 gallons of water can. How long will it take to fill up whatever left? I should say, instead of 2 gallons, I should either say 2 cubic feet of watering can, or I should tell you that, hey, 1 gallon equals to how many cubic feet? So this is, I didn't give you enough information. So this one, again, you will get full credit on it. So let's say, but I still want to go over these kind of questions. So it takes your garden hose 20 seconds to fill up, let's say 2 cubic feet of water can. How long will it take to fill up an inflatable pool measuring 3 feet wide, 8 foot long, and 1 foot deep? So the first step is you need to find the volume for the first one. So the volume equals to is a rectangle pool, right? Which is equal to the length times the width times the height, which is equal to 3 times 8 times 1. So this is equals to 24. So we know that this is 24 cubic feet. Again, we know that it takes 20 seconds to fill up 2 gallons of water. So now let's calculate. So how long does it take to fill up per cubic feet? So we use 20 seconds divided by 2 cubic feet. So we'll get 10 seconds per cubic feet. So that's how fast the garden hose to fill up. Okay, so now we have 24 cubic feet. So do you know how long we're going to use? We use 20 feet times 10 feet per cubic feet. So we have 214 seconds. So it takes 214 seconds to fill up the inflatable pool. So B is the same thing. It is a circular inflatable pool. So that means the pool is going to look like this one. And we know the diameter is 13 feet. So, and the 3 feet depth. So what's the volume of a circular inflatable pool? So the volume is equal to the base times the height. So we know the height is 3 feet. So this base is a circle. So that means an area of a circle equals to pi r squared times the height. So r, we don't know, is radius. This is giving you what? Diameter. So the radius is equal to 13. So the diameter should equal to 13 half of the diameter. So this is equal to 3.14 times 13 over 2 square times 8, which is 3. So let me use a calculator to calculate this. So this is equal to 397. They should round it up to 2 decimal 8 cubic feet. Okay, again, now we know the volume. So by the previous question, we found out that the speed of how fast the hose, the garden hose fill up the water. So now we use 398 times 10, so that we have 3,980 seconds. So it takes that amount of time to fill up the circular inflatable pool. Okay, next one. So you got a recipe. So for a Sabayon course, for 2 egg yolks, 3 tablespoons of sugar, and 1/4 cup of white wine. After cracking the egg, you start measuring the sugar, but accidentally you put in 4 tablespoons of sugar. How can you compensate? So now take a look. Originally, the recipe required you 3 tablespoons, but now you accidentally got 4 tablespoons. So what's the change here? So the ratio should be what? 3/4. I'm sorry, 4/3. 4/3. Because when you use 3 times 4/3, you will get 4 tablespoons. So the ratio should be 4/3. So that means for everything, 2 egg yolk, you need to increase the same ratio, which is 4/3 to compensate it, right? So that means instead of putting 2 egg yolk, you need to put 1/3 of egg yolk. And then also, instead of 1/4, 1/4 of a cup of white wine, you need to put 4/3, you need to increase 4/3 amount of it. So that means you need to put 1/3 cup of white wine. Okay, so the next one is the GDP of China. I'm going to write it down. The GDP of China is 5,739 billion. And then the GDP of Sweden is 435 billion. But the population of China is about 1,347 million, whereas Sweden is about 9.5 million. So now they want you to compare the GDP per capita of these 2 countries. So that means we need to calculate each individual GDP per capita. So China, we should use 5,739 billion divided by 1,347 million. So you will have 4,260 and 58 cents per capita. And now we still need to calculate Sweden. Sweden, we have 435 billion GDP, and then population, they have 9.5 million. So you divide them, you will have 45,789 and 47 cents. Wow, Sweden is 10 times of what China's making per capita. So which country have higher GDP per capita is Sweden, because Sweden has less population. Okay, so that's it for today. Let me know if you have any question regarding of the quiz or the chapter material. See you next time.